Hello, I am back again. Yeah, and then this is Coding with Casey, where I simplify coding for you and I dish it out for free. So now we are in HTML, and in the previous lesson, I actually gave you the structure, the syntax, and the way you structure your code to write this HTML, right? And then now I want to tell you that HTML doesn't go all alone, right? And before I go to the main lesson, which is we want to define what is tag name or names. We want to know what is a tag or tags, and we want to know what are elements. This is the main focus for this lesson. So, but before that, I want to tell you that in web programming, HTML doesn't actually go alone. We have what we call the trinity of the web, and that is the HTML, the CSS, and the JS. And this, as we have known, stand for what? Hypertext Markup Language. Hypertext markup language. And then this stand for cascading style sheet. And this is for JavaScript. So the HTML, like we said before, forms the structure of the web page, right? It is the skeleton where everything is built. It's just like you building your house. You now form the first skeleton. You have the rods. You structure it so that later on you come and put in the blocks and everything. After that, you put electricity so that things can work and happen in your house. So the HTML is just like the first structure, the skeleton, the foundation, the rods you've actually put so that the house can stand, right? And then CSS is just like the blocks that you start laying and then doing the painting and doing some curves to beautify it. CSS actually styles the web page. It actually lays out things so that they will be perfectly and aesthetically positioned, and it also paints things so that it will be beautiful. That's what the CSS is doing. And then the JavaScript is actually coming there to make things work, to give it behavior, so that you can have a web page that you can click a button and so many things open, and then you click this one and things closes and things close, and then you can like have maybe timing where it will give you the time in real time, something like that. So JavaScript does all that, giving behavior to the web application. Okay, having known that, I'm going to this, which is the business of today. So now, tag name. What are tag names? Tag names are like keywords that are existing in HTML. Tag names. So you have to know them. You don't manufacture anyone, right? You have the HTML that we talked about, HTML, the paragraph that we talked about, the body that we talked about, the head that we talked about, the style that we talked about, the title that we talked about. All these things are HTML keywords that exist. They are part of the language. You have to know them, and as we are going, as we are teaching you, you'll be meeting them, and then you'll be knowing how to use them and what they are used for, right? So these are tag names. It belongs to the language. Then tags. You can form tags from these tag names or from these keywords. And how do you form tags from them? If you have HTML and you want to form a tag from HTML, so the tag would be, you give an angle bracket, you do HTML, and then you close the angle bracket. Another version of this can be angle bracket is slash, and then HTML, and then close angle bracket. So these are tags. I can form any I can form tags from any of these, like body. I can have this body, right? And then for head, I can choose to do this type for the head. Now, what is this? These are tags, but they are two different tags. This one is the start tag, and this one is the end tag. What is the difference? The difference is that this one is just angle bracket open and then the tag name and then close angle bracket, but this one has a slash after the open angle brackets. That's the difference. And that's what I was using if you followed me in the last lesson. So now, this is what we mean by tags, right? Then we talk about elements. What? Elements are the actual building blocks of HTML programming. With elements, we can talk to the browser and say, this is what we want and this is how we want it to be rendered in the browser, right? So I want this thing to be a link, then I have to give the element that actually translates to a link so that a user can click it and then you'll be navigated to another web page, right? So the elements, they are the actual building blocks. They are like the statements we make. We make statements with elements, this other element, and then the browser sees them and then render it and for the users to see. So now, how do we make an element from this? For example, let's use the paragraph. Okay, I can have the start tag of the paragraph, and then I said I am a passionate programmer. And then I end the paragraph. So the end tag, you can see it has slash. The start tag doesn't have the slash. That's the difference as we've said here. So now, this is now what we call an element. Why? Because an element mathematically is equal to start tag plus the content, which is everything in between the start tag and the end tag, then plus the end tag. So this is the start tag, this is the end tag, and we can see that this is something that is in between the start tag and end tag. When I add all of them together, that makes up an element. So this is key element. This is, if I wrote this thing together with this one, it will be the HTML element, which we said is the root, right? So, summary, what is a tag name? All those keywords that we use in forming an element that are there living in HTML programming, HTML language, right? So now, it's a markup language, not a programming language, as we said before. So now, how do we get tags from these tag names? By marking them up with angle brackets. It's either you just enclose them with open and close angle brackets, or you open and slash, which is for end tag and what? Start tag. If you want an element, write the start tag, whatever is in between this and then the end tag is an element. An element can be another element, a parent element, which means it contains another element. For example, I can have let's say the section element, and then inside the section element, I can have a paragraph, something. And then I close off the paragraph, and then I close off the section element. You can see that from here to here is the element we are talking about. This is the start tag, this is the end tag, and this is what is in between the start tag and end tag. But in this case, what is in between this and this is another element. And that is why we write this and then go to the next line and write this one so that we can accommodate this other element. And this is what we call nesting of an element, putting one element inside another element. Yeah, I think that is all for this lesson, and then we go gradually. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to follow me if you're not following me, and then if you're watching me from YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so that you get notifications each time I release this. Please, I want the comment section to be busy. What have you seen? What are your questions? What do you want to tell me? Do you want to teach me something? Remember, you can also teach me, right? So the fact that I'm standing here doesn't mean I know everything, actually. You can actually tell me one thing and then it will help my life. Thank you, and I wait for you in the comment section.